Hello YouTube, welcome back. This is Dr. Kemp, Hammond Doc here once again. In this series of videos, I am dealing with troubleshooting problems here in the workshop, in my Hammond organ room and shop. Now, in the last video, I showed you how I went about determining whether or not the amplifier is the problem versus other components within a Leslie cabinet. Go back and look at that video and you'll see how I determined that in our scenario, given that the organ plays perfectly, but that the Leslie tone cabinet is distorting, how I was able to determine that the amplifier, the 47 style, the type 47 Leslie amplifier is not the problem. Okay, go back and look at that and you will see how I made that determination. So in this video, we're going to look at the Leslie crossover as the possible culprit in this distortion scenario. Now this is a traditional vintage Leslie crossover unit. This is the base. You can remove that and this is what you're left with. Left with a couple of capacitors here for the high frequency or upper driver and for the bass woofer. These are the capacitors. And we're going to connect this unit, this little end goes into the Leslie. And so I'll simply disconnect, and the speakers will go here. The upper driver connection will go there, and the bass woofer fits into this hole. So let's go ahead and get started. The Leslie we're dealing with is right over here. So I'll point you in that direction. And I can even pan up so you'll be able to see me at work over here. And okay, so I have the bass woofer disconnected. I'm plugging in the crossover number 1. Speaker number 1, speaker number 2. And I'm connecting. Now I connect crossover to the amplifier. Now, I failed to say in the previous video that another reason you could have distortion is because of something wrong with your Leslie cable. So you can have a bad connection in your Leslie cable, and that could also resort in distortion of sound. But I know from having used this cable that that is not the problem, because I've used the cable and another Leslie, and it does what it's supposed to do. Okay, so now I have the other crossover that I just showed you connected to the organ, or connected to the amplifier in the cabinet. So let's play again. this time we have a good crossover in there. If there is any kind of distortion, it has to be coming from our speaker. One or both of the speakers, or either the upper driver or the bass woofer. So let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens. Rattling is because the top is there, and let me see if I got any glass touching. But I can already tell a difference. I can already tell a difference with this crossover. That's other things rattling in the shop. Take some of that bacon. So, what do I know now? I know that there's not a thing wrong with that bass woofer or bass speaker. I know that there's not a thing wrong with that upper driver. It sounds fantastic. I know that there's not a thing wrong with my Leslie 47 amplifier. The problem is in the crossover. So what that means is that I'm going to have to pull the crossover out of this cabinet and rebuild the crossover, replace the capacitors in that crossover, and that's what I'm going to do. So that's troubleshooting here at Vintage B3 Organ Incorporated, located in Warrensburg, Missouri. So until the next video, this is Hammond Doc saying to you, peace out.